Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great weekend, and welcome to this new Bitcoin video. This time with the right screen that you can see, hopefully, at least. I'm checking it right now. I don't have any other screens to my left, so it should be good. But we're going to do a full update here on Bitcoin. We'll talk about the technicals. We'll talk about the fundamentals. There's quite a lot we need to talk about regarding what happened yesterday, because yesterday obviously was one of the perhaps most active Saturdays I've seen in a while, and that has implications as well for next week, of course, because obviously with the bullish momentum we failed to the CME gap right here, but we have left not a major one, but we have left a bit of a CME gap here. No, we actually it's a minor CME gap, but at least we're leaving some imbalances to the upside, to the downside, including that CME gap. But moves in the weekend often are tricky, all right? So that is something we definitely need to talk about. Obviously, the stock market will also open again in about tomorrow. But the futures for the stock markets obviously open overnight already in the Asian session, and quite a lot happened over the weekend as well. I mean, a lot of products were exempt for the China tariffs, so that's seen as a bit of a de-escalation. We also on Friday had a bit of quantitative easing talk, which I don't really agree with, but still, that sent the markets slightly higher. So that means that I think there's actually a pretty good chance to have, well, first of all, a volatile equity market opening, but also perhaps a bullish one, depending on the developments, again, of especially the potential trade deal between the US and China, because that is at this point of time, I still think the main thing that makes the market move. Obviously, a EU-US trade deal is also important, but that seems to be a little bit more stable. And in general, there's tension, but there's less tension. So it's going to be volatile. Like I said, yesterday for Bitcoin has been volatile as well. And I have to say, I mean, the price action, it makes it a little bit difficult, because what we're seeing, and what we talked about yesterday as well, is that during the move we had yesterday, like very often what happens is that these moves that happen over the course of the weekend get reversed, all right? Because weekend moves are usually with low volume, they leave a lot of imbalances, which is also true for Bitcoin right now. And in this case, it's also with a lot of leverage. And that is true. And we also hit this resistance level, the value area high right here at 86,000. So therefore, just as a bit of a spoiler, I do think it's most likely that Bitcoin is going to feel those imbalances to the downside. We have an imbalance all the way here at the low 80,000 level. But ultimately, the main support level is 81,500. So at this point of time, I'm leaning, especially given the volatility that we're expecting with the new week opening, I'm leaning towards expecting something like this. But at the same time, I have to say that this open interest, yes, it has increased quite a lot, but it is also a few passive short limits being opened, which is not a bad thing, all right? Because if they get opened, obviously that means more liquidity to the upside. And then outside of that, which is very interesting, and it has made me think about a couple of things, is that the volume has stayed incredibly high. All right, after the news yesterday and after the momentum, the volume is down 20%, but $29 billion on a Sunday. I cannot tell you the last time I've seen that. I think it was December. All right, so that's in general very, very positive. And that also means that some of the bullish momentum we've had yesterday was actually still with quite high volume. And therefore, we have to take it seriously. Now, like I said, given all the imbalances here to the downside in combination with the resistance that we're at, I do have to say that I think it's most likely that we're going to drop down below the POC right here at 84,000. And drop down into that level before I do expect us to hold that, and before having a chance to rally back up to the value area high, but potentially also touching the 200 EMA and 90,000. So I'd say this is still most likely, but I will definitely not short Bitcoin, all right? If we get a bullish US equity opening, and I'll keep you updated on this when this is starting to get a little bit more likely. At this point in time, I would say this has a 60% chance, 60% probability, and we have like a 40% probability to just hold the POC and rally from that POC into new highs, or at least into previous highs, but new highs recently. So this is a possibility, and like I said, I mean, if Bitcoin is actually going to be able to hold up relatively well in the next 24 hours, that might even turn most likely. But that is something I'll keep you updated on. For now, I think this is what you need to know. So thank you for watching. Take care and bye.